what happened in the time of Woodson, for an example, in the 1920s. What happened with the civil rights movement? What is happening today in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement and our efforts to advance black rights, black freedom to another level.
Just a wider range of knowledge and information about the African experience.
Exactly.
Because the African-American experience has been different from any other experience in America.
Exactly. It is a unique experience. And I think Carter Woodson recognized that. And this is why he started Negro History Week. And this is why we celebrate Black History Month today. We're talking about a unique experience of people who have experienced oppression, in a unique way, and are people who are struggling for freedom in a unique way. And that continues, of course, in the 21st century.
And, of course, if you took that particular aspect out of American history, you would really have a different American history. What would American history be without the existence of the African in America, the African experience in America? There would have been no slavery. That would be, and some of the great issues that we're talking about today, you know, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment.
Blacks have been a part of every major turning point in American history. We've contributed so much to the artistic life of the nation, to the agricultural life of the nation, to the spiritual life of the nation. And I think Carter G. Woodson was right. Celebrating black history, affirming black history, accepting black history is essential not only to the spiritual, psychological, political survival of black people, it's essential to the spiritual, the psychological, and the intellectual survival of the nation, I think.
And so on at the end of this century, I think we can still hope for there being some element dealing with the African-American experience, because this is an experience that is going to continue. No matter how integrated the African become within American society, there will always be that aspect that of his story that has to be told.
Exactly, and we should not treat it as a footnote to American history. And that's been the problem, I think, with so much of our history of America, is that blacks are treated as a footnote, that you get distorted and stereotypical images of blacks in that history. And I think we need to get beyond that. And once we get beyond that, then we can celebrate American
history. We could have an American history department instead of an African-American history department, and et cetera. Well, Dr. Baldwin, I believe that as a representative in a real sense of one scholarly aspect of the African-American experience, because in a real sense, you really follow Carter G. Woodson and W.E.B. Du Bois and others in terms of the kind of work that you're doing and the kind of writing that you're doing. And I think that as we were inspired by the African slave trade or by Woodson's book, Education of the Negro, and et cetera, a large number of other young individuals that are coming along today, when they look at Martin Luther King, are inspired by some of the things that you've said and some of the things that you've written.
And so, also you.
And I think that we've all had some hand in helping to broaden the whole understanding of what the African-American experience has been
all about. Exactly. And I think you're quite right at that. You, myself, so many others who are making these great contributions today to the understanding of black history and black culture. We are all a part of the legacy of Carter G. Woodson and W.E.B. Du Bois.
That's right.
We're standing on their shoulders. We're advancing the kind of scholarship that they were interested in pursuing and getting across not only to the nation but to the world.
What would they have done and what achievements would they have made had they had at their disposal the tools that we have to work with today?
I wouldn't venture to make an assessment of that. I think if they had exposure to the kind of resources that we have today, their contributions would have been endless.
They would have
been endless. But we have to look to them as pioneers.
Pioneers, that's right.
And look at ourselves as picking up the torch and carrying it forward.
And I'm glad to say that I know Dr. Lewis Baldwin.
You know, I'm glad to say that I know Dr.
people
James
all the time, you know, that I know Dr. Baldwin. You know, he's written all those books about the African experience that has had.
I know Dr. James Haney.
I knew you before your work before I knew you. And so, Dr. Baldwin, and I say that you've done so much in terms of contributing to this particular show, and I think I've said it on many occasions. It goes back for the last 25 or 30 years. You've contributed to this show as much as you've contributed to the writing of the books, because most of the time when you write the book, we find out about it on this show, even though you're circulated worldwide in a real sense.
Thank you so much.
It gives us sort of a special opportunity and a special privilege.
And what you're doing is equally important.
Tie into all of these things. And so I want to thank you for coming by and sharing this information with our audience this morning, because I know that it's very, very important that we be able to do so. And I know that